I stood in the middle of a decorated hall, my heart pounding so loud I thought everyone could hear it. Lights shimmered above me, soft music played in the background, and people whispered like I didn't belong there. My eyes were locked on her, Emily Carter, the woman I had loved for 6 years. She was wearing a white dress, but it wasn't for me. My throat went dry as I took a slow step forward. "Emily," my voice cracked. "What is this?" She turned to look at me, calm, almost bored. "No guilt, no hesitation. It's simple, Ethan," she said. "I'm getting married." I blinked, trying to process her words. "Married?" I laughed nervously. "This isn't funny." "Stop joking." "I'm not joking," she replied, her tone cold. "I'm marrying someone who can actually give me a future." Her words hit harder than a slap. "What are you saying?" I asked, my voice shaking. "After everything, after 6 years, this is how you tell me?" She crossed her arms. "Don't make a scene. Don't make a scene." I repeated louder this time. "You invited me here without telling me this was your wedding." "I didn't invite you," she said flatly. "You showed up. I froze. You texted me the address." She shrugged. "I changed my mind about explaining things privately." A few people nearby started whispering. I could feel their eyes on me. My chest tightened. "Emily, please," I said, stepping closer. "Talk to me properly. What's going on? Who is he?" Before she could answer, a voice came from behind her. "That would be me." I turned slowly. A tall man in an expensive suit walked forward with a confident smile. He looked at me like I was nothing. "Daniel Wright," he said, extending his hand casually. "Nice to finally meet you." I didn't shake it. "Who are you to her?" He chuckled. "I'm her fiancé." My stomach dropped. "Fiancé?" I looked back at Emily. "Since when?" "Since I realized I deserve better," she replied. "Better," I whispered. "I gave you everything I had." "And that was the problem," she shot back. "Everything you had wasn't enough." Daniel smirked. "You should thank me, Ethan." I clenched my fists. "For what?" "For taking your burden off your shoulders," he said. "Trust me, relationships like this, they hold you back." A few people laughed. I felt my face burn. "She wasn't a burden," I said through gritted teeth. "She was my life." Emily rolled her eyes. "That's exactly why I left you. You're too emotional, too weak." I stared at her, unable to believe what I was hearing. "Weak?" I said. "I worked 2 jobs to support you. I paid your rent. I stayed up all night helping you study. That's weak. That's desperate," she replied. Her words cut deeper than anything else. "So, all those times you said you loved me," I paused. "Were they lies?" She hesitated for a second, then looked away. "They were convenient." I felt something inside me shatter. Daniel stepped closer to her and placed his arm around her waist. "You see the difference now," he said. "I don't struggle. I provide." I looked at him. "And what makes you so special?" He smiled. "My father owns half the city." The room filled with murmurs. I could feel the weight of his status pressing down on me. Emily looked at me one last time. "I'm choosing a better life, Ethan. You should do the same." "A better life," I repeated. "Or an easier one." She didn't answer. I took a deep breath, trying to hold myself together. "So that's it?" I asked. 6 years gone just like that?" "Yes," she said. No emotion, no regret, just one word. I nodded slowly, even though my vision was starting to blur. "Then why bring me here?" I asked quietly. She looked straight into my eyes. "So you understand where you stand." "And where is that?" I whispered. "Nowhere," she said. Silence fell around us. Even the music felt distant. Daniel leaned closer to me. "Take the hint," he said softly. "You don't belong in her world." I swallowed hard. "Maybe not," I said, "but I belonged in her heart once." Emily laughed under her breath. "You really believe that?" I didn't answer, because I didn't know anymore. I looked around the room. Strangers staring at me, judging me, laughing at me. I felt small, worthless, invisible. "I hope you're happy," I said finally. "I will be," she replied. I nodded again, even though it hurt. "Goodbye, Emily." She didn't respond. I turned and walked toward the exit. Each step felt heavier than the last. My chest ached, my hands trembled, and my mind kept replaying everything she said. Weak. Desperate. Not enough. I pushed the door open and stepped outside into the cold night air. The noise from inside faded instantly. For a moment I just stood there, alone. I let out a shaky breath and looked up at the dark sky. "What did I do wrong?" I whispered. No answer came, only silence. I laughed bitterly. 6 years, I muttered, and this is how it ends. My phone buzzed in my pocket, but I didn't check it. Nothing mattered anymore. Because in that moment, I realized something terrifying. She didn't just break my heart. She broke who I was. And as I stood there, staring into nothing, I felt it clearly. Something inside me had died, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly and completely. I walked without knowing where I was going. The night felt colder than it should have been. Or maybe it was just me. My hands were in my pockets, my head down, my thoughts loud. Was I just temporary? I whispered to myself. No one answered. I laughed quietly. 6 years, Ethan. 6 years and you were just an option. My phone buzzed again. I ignored it at first, but it didn't stop. I finally pulled it out and saw Ryan's name flashing on the screen. I hesitated, then answered. "What? Where are you?" Ryan's voice sounded worried. "I've been calling you for 10 minutes. I'm fine." "You don't sound fine. You don't sound fine." I snapped. There was a pause. Then he said, "She did it, didn't she?" I didn't reply. "Ethan, talk to me." I exhaled slowly. "She's getting married." Silence. Then, "You're joking." "I wish I was. Still, rich guy." Daniel Wright. Ryan cursed under his breath. "I knew it." "You knew?" I stopped walking. "What does that mean?" "I saw the signs, man. The way she changed, the way she started ignoring you." "No," I said quickly. "She was just busy." "She wasn't busy, Ethan. She was moving on." I shook my head even though he couldn't see me. "No, she loved me. Did she?" he asked quietly. His question hit harder than anything else. "Yes," I said, but my voice lacked confidence. "She did. Then why are you alone right now?" I didn't have an answer. Ryan sighed. "Where are you?" "I'm coming to get you." "I don't need you to come get me." "You clearly do." I said I'm fine. "You're not fine," he shot back. "You just got dumped in the worst way possible and you're walking around like it didn't happen." I stayed silent. "Ethan," he said more calmly, "listen to me. She used you, man." "No," I whispered. "Don't say that. You paid her rent, didn't you? That doesn't mean you helped her through college." "I wanted to. You put her dreams before yours." I clenched my jaw. "Because I loved her." "And what did you get in return?" he asked. I opened my mouth, then closed it. "Exactly," he said. I sat down on a nearby bench, feeling my energy drained. "You don't understand," I muttered. "Then help me understand," Ryan said. "Because from where I'm standing, she took everything you gave her and walked away like it meant nothing." "It meant something," I said, louder now. "It had to mean something. Then why didn't she fight for you?" That question stayed in the air. I rubbed my face. "She didn't even hesitate," I said quietly. "Not even for a second." Ryan didn't respond this time. "I asked her if those 6 years were real," I continued. "She said they were convenient." "What?" Ryan sounded shocked. "Yeah," I said, my voice breaking slightly. "Convenient. That's messed up." I kept thinking maybe she was just angry, I said. "Maybe she didn't mean it, Ethan." "But she looked at me like I was nothing," I interrupted. "Like I was replaceable." "You deserve better than that." "I don't want better," I snapped. I wanted her. Ryan went quiet again. After a moment he said, "Check her social media." "Why would I do that to myself?" "Just check it." I hesitated, then opened the app. My hands felt heavy as I searched for her profile. And there it was, a new post. I tapped on it. My chest tightened instantly. It was her, smiling, glowing, standing next to Daniel. His arm was around her. Her head rested on his shoulder. The caption read, "Forever starts today." I stared at the screen, unable to move. They already posted it, didn't they? Ryan asked. Yeah, I whispered. What does it say? I swallowed hard. Forever starts today. Ryan cursed again. I kept scrolling. More photos, more smiles, more happiness, like I never existed. Do you see what I mean now? Ryan said softly. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. She looks happy. That's because she made her choice, and I wasn't part of it, I said. No, he replied. You weren't. I locked my phone and stared ahead. Everything felt empty. She erased me, I said quietly. What? She erased me, I repeated, like those 6 years never happened. Ryan didn't interrupt. That hurts more than anything, I continued. Not the breakup, not the humiliation, but this. This what? Like I never mattered, I said. Like I was just a phase. You weren't a phase, Ryan said firmly. You were real. She just didn't value it. I let out a slow breath. Then why does it feel like I lost everything? Because you gave her everything, he replied. I closed my eyes. For the first time, I didn't argue. Because deep down, I knew he was right. I stopped counting the days. At first, I told myself I just needed time. A few days, I whispered one morning, staring at the ceiling. I'll be fine in a few days. But days turned into weeks. My phone kept ringing. Messages kept coming. I ignored all of them. Ryan called. I didn't answer. Work called. I didn't answer. Life called, and I stayed silent. One afternoon, my phone rang again. I almost ignored it, but something made me pick up. What? I said flatly. Ethan, where the hell have you been? Mr. Howard's voice came through, sharp and impatient. I've been busy. Busy doing what? Disappearing? He snapped. You haven't shown up in 2 weeks. I needed time. You needed responsibility, he replied. You think the world stops because your personal life fell apart? I stayed quiet. Listen carefully, he continued. Get your life together or don't come back. His words didn't even hurt. I understand, I said. Do you? He asked. Because right now, you're throwing everything away. Maybe I already lost everything, I muttered. That's not an excuse, he said firmly. Pain is not an excuse to quit. It feels like one, I replied. He sighed. You are one of my best employees, Ethan. Don't turn into someone I don't recognize. I didn't respond. Last chance, he said. Show up tomorrow or don't bother coming back. The call ended. I stared at my phone for a long time, then placed it face down. I don't care, I whispered. But even as I said it, something inside me knew I was lying. That night, I stood in front of the mirror. I barely recognized the person staring back at me. Messy hair, tired eyes, hollow expression. I leaned closer and spoke softly. You weren't enough. The reflection didn't argue. You gave everything, I continued, and it still wasn't enough. My chest tightened. She left you like you meant nothing, I said. Because you are nothing, I clenched the sink. Nothing, I repeated. The word echoed in my head, again and again and again. You weren't enough. I shut my eyes, but it didn't stop. You weren't enough. Stop, I whispered. You weren't enough. Stop, I said louder. Silence. I opened my eyes slowly. I hate you, I said to my reflection. A sudden knock on the door broke the moment. I frowned. Who is it? No answer. Another knock. I walked to the door and opened it. Lily. My younger sister stood there, arms crossed, eyes filled with concern. Wow, she said. You look terrible. Thanks, I muttered. Are you going to let me in or just stand there looking like a ghost? I stepped aside. Come in. She walked inside, looking around. You've been living like this? I've been. Existing. That's not the same thing, she replied. I sat down on the couch. What are you doing here? Ryan called me, she said. He said you weren't answering anyone. I didn't ask him to do that. Well, someone had to, she shot back. Because clearly you weren't going to fix this on your own. There's nothing to fix, I said. It's over. So your solution is to destroy yourself? I'm not destroying myself, I said. I'm just done. Done with what? She asked. Everything. She stared at me for a moment. That's not you, Ethan. You don't know me anymore, I replied. I know you better than you think, she said. And this version of you? This isn't real. I laughed bitterly. This is the real me. The guy who wasn't enough. Stop saying that, she said firmly. Why? It's true. No, it's not, she argued. No, it's not, she argued. She made a choice. That doesn't define your worth. It feels like it does. Then you're letting her win, Lily said. I looked at her. She already won. Only if you stay like this, she replied. I shook my head. You don't understand. Then explain it to me, she said. Explain why you're giving up. Because I gave everything to someone who threw it away like trash. I snapped. Because I built my life around her and now there's nothing left. There's you left, she said softly. I froze. That's what you're forgetting, she continued. You're still here. Barely, I muttered. But you are, she said, and that means you still have a choice. A choice? I repeated. Yes, she said. You can stay like this, or you can rebuild. I don't even know where to start, I admitted. Start by standing up, she said. I looked at her confused. Seriously, she said. Stand up. I hesitated, then slowly stood. Good, she nodded. Now look at me and say you're done. I'm done, I said quietly. Louder. I'm done. I'm done. Say it like you mean it. I'm done. I shouted. She shook her head. No, you're not. I frowned. What? You're not done, she said. You're hurt. There's a difference. I stared at her, speechless. You don't get to die while still breathing. Ethan, she said softly. Her words hit me hard. Something shifted inside me. For the first time in weeks, I felt something other than pain. I took a deep breath. So what do I do? I asked. She smiled. Slightly. Now you decide who you want to become. I looked down at my hands, then back at her. For the first time since that night, I realized something. I still had a choice. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my phone. This is it, I whispered. My thumb hovered over her name, Emily. 6 years reduced to a contact. I opened our chat. Messages filled the screen. Old jokes. Late-night talks. I miss you. I love you. I'm proud of you. I let out a slow breath. Were any of these real? No answer. I tapped on her profile picture. Her smile stared back at me. Not anymore, I said quietly. Delete contact. Block number. I paused for a second, then confirmed it. It's done, I muttered. Next. Social media, unfollow, block to remove tags. Each click felt like cutting a piece of my past. You don't exist anymore, I whispered. But it still hurt. I opened my gallery next. Thousands of photos. Yous at the beach. Us laughing. Us holding hands. I clenched my jaw. Why do I still care? My finger hovered over the delete option. Just do it, I told myself. I selected everything. Delete. The screen asked. Are you sure? I closed my eyes. Yes. Gone. I dropped my phone beside me and leaned back. Silence filled the room. It's really over, I said. For the first time, I didn't feel like arguing with that truth. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a different name. Victor Hayes. I stared at it for a moment before answering. Hello? You finally picked up. His deep voice came through. I've been busy. No, you've been hiding, he corrected. I didn't deny it. What do you want? I heard what happened, he said. News travels fast. It does when you disappear from work and ignore everyone, he replied. You look like a man who just lost everything. I did, I said. Good. I frowned. Good, yes, he said calmly. Men who lose everything are the only ones capable of building something real. I'm not in the mood for philosophy, I muttered. Then listen to opportunity instead, he said. I have a position open. I already have a job. Do you? He asked. Because from what I hear, you're about to lose that too. I stayed silent. Come work for me, he continued. But understand this, it won't be easy. I'm not looking for easy. Good, he said, because I don't offer it. What do you want from me? I asked. Discipline, focus, results, he replied. No excuses, no emotions. I let out a dry laugh. Emotions aren't a problem anymore. We'll see, he said. Meet me tomorrow. I haven't agreed yet. You will, he said confidently. Why are you so sure? Because you have nothing left to lose, he answered. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on my knees. You're right about that. So? He asked. I thought about Lily's words. You still have a choice. I'll come, I said finally. Good, Victor replied. And Ethan? Yeah, don't show up as the man she broke, he said. Show up as the man who survived. The call ended. I sat there, staring at the floor. The man who survived, I repeated. I wasn't sure if I believed that yet. The next morning, I stood outside a tall office building. This is different, I muttered. I walked inside. A receptionist looked up. Can I help you? I'm here to see Victor Hayes. She nodded. Top floor. I took the elevator up. Each second felt heavier. When the doors opened, I stepped into a quiet, sharp-looking office. Victor stood near the window, hands behind his back. You're on time, he said without turning. I said I'd come. He turned slowly and looked at me. For a moment he said nothing. Then, you look worse than I expected. Thanks, I replied. He stepped closer, studying me. But I see something else too. What? Anger, he said. Good. That's useful. I'm not here to talk about my feelings. Good, he said again, because I don't care about them. I crossed my arms. Then why am I here? He smirked slightly. Because you're exactly what I need. And what's that? A man with nothing to lose, he replied. I held his gaze. I already told you I lost everything. He nodded once. That makes you dangerous. Dangerous, yes, he said. Because you're not afraid anymore. I thought about that. Was I afraid? No, not anymore. So what do you want me to do? I asked. Work, he said simply. Learn, grow, and forget the life you had before. I'm already trying to forget. Trying isn't enough, he replied. You either do it or you don't. I took a deep breath. Then I'll do it. Victor smiled faintly. Good. He walked past me and said, Welcome to your new life, Ethan. I turned slightly. And what happens to the old one? He paused. It disappears, he said. I nodded slowly. That's exactly what I want. As I stood there, I felt something shift inside me. The pain was still there. But now, it had direction. Let's begin, I said. And for the first time, I meant it. Again. Victor's voice was sharp. I just finished that. Report, I said, trying to keep my tone steady, and it wasn't good enough, he replied. So do it again. I clenched my jaw. What exactly was wrong with it? Your mindset, he said. You're still thinking like someone who's afraid to fail. Then prove it, he said. Fix it. I picked up the file without arguing further. Ethan, he added as I turned, feelings make you weak. Results make you untouchable. I remember, I said. Good. Then stop thinking and start improving. That became my life. Work. Learn. Repeat. No distractions. No emotions. If I wasn't working, I was studying. If I wasn't studying, I was training my body until exhaustion. One night, Ryan called again. You alive? He asked. Barely, I replied. You've been missing for months. I've been busy. With what? Becoming a robot. Maybe that's better than being broken, I said. He sighed. You don't have to kill yourself to move on. I'm not killing myself, I replied. I'm rebuilding. At what cost? At any cost, I said. There was a pause. You sound different, Ryan said. I am different. Do you even think about her anymore? I hesitated. Not the same way. What does that mean? It means she doesn't control me anymore, I said. But the damage she did, that stays. That's not healthy, he replied. It's effective, I said. He went quiet. Just don't lose yourself completely, okay? I already did, I said. Now I'm building someone better. I ended the call before he could respond. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Faster, Victor said one morning as I reviewed data on my screen. I'm going as fast as I can. Then your fast isn't good enough, he replied. Adapt. I am adapting. Not fast enough, he said. You're still thinking. Stop thinking. Execute. I need to think to avoid mistakes. No, he said. You need discipline to eliminate them. I leaned back slightly. You expect perfection. I expect progress, he corrected. Perfection comes later. I nodded. Understood. Good, he said. Because you're improving. That caught my attention. I am, don't get comfortable, he added quickly. You're still far from where you need to be. I don't plan on stopping, I said. Good, he replied. I started noticing changes, not just in my work, but in myself. I woke up earlier. I spoke less. I reacted less. Dare felt less. One evening, Victor handed me a suit. You're coming with me. Where? A business event, he said. You need to learn how to operate in high-level environments. I don't do well with people, I replied. You don't need to, he said. You need to observe. I nodded. All right. That night, I stood in a large conference hall. People laughed, talked, made connections. I stayed quiet. Don't look lost, Victor said beside me. I'm not lost. I just don't care. Care enough to pay attention, he replied. I am, I said. Good. Then watch how they speak, he said. Confidence is currency. I scanned the room. That's when I noticed her. She stood near the corner, talking calmly to a group of people. Her posture was relaxed, her expression focused. Who is that? I asked. Victor glanced over. Sophia Reed. She seems different. She is, he said. She mind. She is, he said. Doesn't waste words. I watched as she spoke. No unnecessary gestures, no fake smiles, just clarity. Go talk to her, Victor said. I'm not here to socialize. You're here to grow, he corrected. Go. I sighed. Fine. I walked toward her slowly. As I got closer, she noticed me. Her eyes met mine, calm and steady. Can I help you? She asked. I'm Ethan, I said. Sophia, she replied. I know. You do? You're with Victor Hayes, she said. That tells me enough. I nodded slightly. Fair. She studied me for a moment. You don't talk much, do you? I've said enough in the past, I replied. She didn't push further. Good answer, she said. I raised an eyebrow. Most people don't think so. Most people ask too many questions, she said. I prefer observation. I can relate to that, I said. What do you observe right now? She asked. That you're different, I replied. How? You're not trying to impress anyone, I said. You're just present. She nodded slightly. And you? I'm trying not to care, I said honestly. That's not the same as not caring, she replied. I paused. You're right. She looked at me for a second longer. You're disciplined, though. How can you tell? Your posture, your tone, the way you choose your words, she said. You've been through something. I didn't respond. She didn't push. That's rare, I said. What is? Not asking for details, I replied. She gave a small smile. People reveal themselves over time. No need to rush. That's different. Different isn't always bad, she said. I didn't say it was. We stood in silence for a moment, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was calm. I should get back, I said. Of course, she replied. It was nice talking to you. Ethan, she said. I walked back to Victor. Well, he asked. She's interesting, I said. Interesting doesn't matter, he replied. Useful does. She's both, I said. He glanced at me. Careful. I'm not looking for anything, I said quickly. Good, he replied, because distractions will destroy you. I know, I said, but as I looked back at Sophia for a brief moment, I realized something. For the first time in months, I didn't feel empty. Not because of love, not because of the past, but because I was finally becoming someone I could respect, and maybe that was enough. 1 year, I said quietly as I adjusted my cufflinks. Victor stood behind me, watching. Say it again. 1 year, I repeated. And what changed? He asked. Everything, I replied. Prove it, he said. I looked at my reflection. Calm eyes, steady posture, no hesitation. I don't need to prove it, I said. They'll see it. Victor gave a slight nod. Good. Let's go. We arrived at the event together. The hall was larger than anything I had seen before. Executives, investors, powerful names. I used to feel small in places like this. Not anymore. Stay sharp, Victor said. I always am, I replied. Confidence isn't words, he said. It's control. I know, I said. I stepped forward into the crowd. People glanced at me, some recognizing me, others curious. Ethan Cole? A man asked. I turned slightly. Yes, I've heard about you, he said. Victor's new prodigy. I just do my job, I replied. He smiled. That's what they all say before they take over the room. I'm not here to take over, I said calmly. I'm here to learn. Smart answer, he said, then walked away. I exhaled slowly. You're handling it well, a familiar voice said. I turned. Sophia. She smiled slightly. You look different. I am different, I replied. I can see that, she said. You're not carrying the same weight anymore. I dropped it, I said. Or you learned how to carry it better, she corrected. Maybe both, I said. She studied me for a moment. You're calmer. I stopped reacting, I said. That's dangerous, she replied. Only if I lose control, I said. She nodded. Fair. Before I could say anything else, I saw her. My breath didn't stop. My heart didn't race. But something inside me shifted Emily. She stood across the room laughing with someone. For a second, I just watched. Then she turned. Our eyes met. Her smile faded instantly. Ethan? She whispered as she walked toward me. I didn't move. It's been a while, I said. She stopped in front of me, staring. You've changed. I've heard that before, I replied. No, she said quickly. I mean really changed. I tilted my head slightly. Is that a bad thing? No, she said softly. It's just unexpected. Life tends to be that way, I said. She looked at me like she was trying to understand something. You look confident. I am, I said. That's new, she added. So is honesty, I replied. She flinched slightly. I deserved that. I didn't respond. I didn't think I'd see you here, she said. I didn't think I'd be here either, I replied. She opened her mouth, then hesitated. Ethan, about what happened. There's nothing to discuss, I interrupted calmly. Her eyes softened. There is for me. That's your choice, I said. Not mine. Before she could respond, another voice cut in. Emily. I turned. Daniel. But he wasn't the same man I remembered. His posture was stiff, his expression tense. Who's this? He asked, though I could tell he already knew. You know who I am, I said. He forced a smile. Ethan, right? That's right, I replied. He looked me up and down. You've improved. People do that, I said. He let out a small laugh, but it sounded forced. I've heard things about you. I'm sure you have, I said. Victor Hayes's right-hand man, he added. I work with him, I corrected. Daniel's jaw tightened slightly. Impressive. Consistency is more impressive than status, I said. Emily looked between us, clearly uncomfortable. Daniel, maybe this isn't— It's fine, he said quickly. We're just talking. I could see it now, the cracks. Your company's been in the news, I said calmly. He stiffened. Rumors, ha! Of course, I replied. People like to exaggerate, he said. They usually do, I agreed. But sometimes they don't. He didn't respond immediately. Emily looked at him. Daniel, what is he talking about? Nothing, he said sharply. It's under control. Hit is it? I asked. He stepped closer. You don't know anything about my business. You're right, I said. I don't. Then don't act like you do, he snapped. I'm not acting, I said. I'm observing. Observing what? He challenged. Pressure, I replied. And how it changes people. His expression hardened. You think you're better than me now? He asked. I shook my head. No. Then what? He demanded. I think I'm better than who I used to be, I said. Silence. Emily looked at me. Her eyes filled with something I couldn't ignore. Regret. You really moved on, she said quietly. I moved forward, I corrected. That fast? She asked. It wasn't fast, I said. It was necessary. She looked down. I didn't think you could, neither did I admitted. Daniel let out a frustrated breath. This is pointless. Then why are you still here? I asked. He didn't answer, because he didn't have one. I looked at both of them, one who left, one who replaced, and for the first time, neither of them mattered. Karma doesn't shout, I said calmly. It whispers, and then destroys. Daniel frowned. What's that supposed to mean? You'll figure it out, I replied. I turned away without waiting for a response. Ethan, Emily called softly. I paused, but didn't turn back. Yes? She hesitated. I didn't know. That's the point, I said, and then I walked away, not angry, not broken, just done. The room shifted the moment he walked in. Whispers died, conversation stopped, power had a presence, and everyone felt it. Charles right, someone murmured behind me. I turned slightly. So this was him, the man people called untouchable, the real tycoon. Daniel straightened instantly beside Emily. Father, he said, forcing confidence into his voice. But I noticed it, the tension, the hesitation. Something wasn't right. Charles didn't respond. He didn't even look at Daniel. His eyes moved across the room slowly, calculating, searching. Then they stopped. On me. I frowned slightly. Why me? Victor stepped closer to me. Stay still, he said quietly. What's happening? I asked under my breath. Just watch, he replied. Charles started walking, not toward Daniel, but toward me. Each step felt heavier than the last. The room followed his movement like it was a performance. Dad? Daniel said again, louder this time. I'm here. Still no response. My chest tightened slightly. Why is he coming here? I asked. Victor didn't answer. Charles stopped right in front of me. For a moment, he just looked at me, not like a stranger, like he already knew me. Ethan, he said. My name. My mind froze. I've been looking for you. The words didn't make sense. The room went completely silent. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? Daniel stepped forward quickly. Dad? What are you doing? Charles didn't even glance at him. I asked you a question, Daniel insisted. That's when Charles turned, and the look on his face, cold, sharp, disappointed. You lied to everyone, Charles said. Daniel froze. What are you talking about? You heard me, he replied. You lied. You lied at the end. I didn't lie about anything, Daniel said quickly. I'm your son. Charles's expression didn't change. No, he said. You're not. The words hit the room like a shockwave. Emily gasped softly. What? Daniel's voice cracked. What do you mean I'm not? Charles pointed slightly. Not at Daniel, at me. He is. I felt my breath catch. That's not funny, Daniel said, forcing a laugh. Stop this. I'm not joking, Charles replied. This is insane, Daniel said. You're confused. I'm very clear, Charles said. You built your life on a lie. Daniel shook his head. No, that's not possible. I finally found my voice. What is going on? Charles looked back at me. Then he stepped closer. Too close. My heart started beating faster. Not from fear, but from something I couldn't explain. He raised his hand and placed it on my shoulder. You're my son. Everything stopped. Sound, thought, time. I stared at him. What did you just say? You heard me, he said calmly. This doesn't make sense, I said. I don't even know you. You should have, he replied. Daniel laughed nervously. This is ridiculous. He's just some guy. Enough. Charles said sharply. Daniel fell silent. You've had your chance to play pretend, Charles continued. Now it ends. I'm not pretending, Daniel shouted. I grew up with you. You raised me. And that was my mistake, Charles replied coldly. Emily stepped back slightly, clearly shaken. Daniel, what's happening? I don't know, he snapped. This is crazy. I looked at Victor. You knew? He didn't deny it. I suspected, he said quietly. Suspected what? I asked. That your past wasn't what you thought it was, he replied. I turned back to Charles. Explain. He nodded once. Years ago, there was a hospital error. 2 infants were switched. I felt my chest tighten. One of them was my son, he continued. And the other? I asked. He glanced at Daniel. Was him. Daniel shook his head violently. No, that's a lie. It's been verified, Charles said. Documents, DNA, everything. This can't be real, Daniel whispered. I ran a hand through my hair. Why didn't you say anything before? I needed certainty, Charles replied. And I needed to see the kind of man you became. So you watched me? I asked. Yes. For how long? Long enough to know, he said. Know what? That you earned your place, he replied. Not because of blood, but because of who you are. I didn't know how to respond. Emily looked at me, her expression pale. Ethan, is this true? I don't know, I said honestly. It is, Charles confirmed. Daniel stepped forward again. Even if that's true, it doesn't change anything. It changes everything, Charles said. No, it doesn't, Daniel argued. I built my life, my reputation on my name, Charles said. A name that was never yours. Silence, heavy, unforgiving. I looked at Charles again. Why me? Because you never relied on what wasn't yours, he said. You built yourself from nothing. I let out a slow breath. Everything I went through, everything I lost, what happens now? I asked. Charles looked at me directly. That depends, he said, on whether you're ready to take your place. I thought about Emily, about Daniel, about the man I used to be. I didn't ask for this, I said. I know, he replied, but it was always yours. The room was still watching, waiting. I looked at him, then at my reflection in the glass nearby. For the first time, I didn't see the broken man anymore. But I also didn't see a son. Not yet. This isn't over, Daniel said quietly behind me. No, I replied without turning. It's just beginning. This isn't real, I said, my voice low but steady. It is, Charles replied. Every part of it. I looked at Victor. You knew more than you told me. I knew enough, he said. Not everything. That's not an answer, I said. It's the truth, he replied. I had suspicions, patterns. Your instincts, your decisions, they didn't match your background. So you tested me? I asked. I trained you, he corrected. For what? I said. For this moment, Charles answered. I let out a breath. So while I was rebuilding my life, you were watching. Yes, Charles said, and you didn't disappoint. I shook my head slowly. That doesn't make this easier. It's not supposed to, he said. Daniel stepped forward again, his voice shaking. You can't just take everything away from me. I'm not taking anything, Charles replied. I'm correcting a mistake. A mistake? Daniel snapped. I was your son for years. You were raised in my house, Charles said. That's not the same thing. Emily looked between us, her face pale. Daniel, is this true? I don't know, he shouted. He's lying. I'm not, Charles said calmly. I looked at Daniel. For the first time, I didn't see confidence. I saw fear. What happens to him? I asked. Charles didn't hesitate. He loses what was never his. Daniel laughed bitterly. Just like that. Yes, Charles said. You're destroying me, Daniel said. No, Charles replied. The truth is. Silence followed. Heavy, unavoidable, Emily stepped closer to me slowly. Ethan, I turned my head slightly. What? I didn't know, she said, her voice breaking. I looked at her, really looked at her. The same eyes, The same face, but something was different now. You didn't know, I repeated. She nodded quickly. If I knew, I would have. Would have what? I interrupted. She hesitated. Chosen differently? I asked. She couldn't finish. That's the point, I said calmly. She frowned slightly. What do you mean? You made your choice without knowing the truth, I said. You chose status. Her eyes filled with tears. That's not fair. It is, I replied, because love doesn't need proof of power. You thought I wasn't enough, I said. She stayed silent. And now? I asked. I was wrong, she whispered. Were you? I said. Or did the situation change? That's not what this is, she said quickly. Then what is it? I asked. She didn't answer, because she couldn't. Behind us, Daniel let out a frustrated breath. This is unbelievable. I turned slightly. You're quiet now, I said. He glared at me. Don't act like you've won. I didn't win, I said. I just didn't lose myself. You took my place, he said. No, I replied. I took mine. His jaw tightened. You think this makes you better than me? No, I said. My actions do. That's easy to say now, he snapped. It was hard to live before, I replied. Charles stepped forward. This ends tonight. Daniel looked at him. What does that mean? It means your access is revoked, he said. Your authority is gone. You can't do that, Daniel said. I already have, Charles replied. Daniel's expression cracked. My accounts? He asked. Frozen, Charles said. My position? Gone. My name? Charles paused for a moment. Was never yours, he said. That was it. I watched as everything collapsed around him, not loudly, not dramatically, just completely. Emily covered her mouth. Daniel, he stepped back, shaking his head. This isn't over. No, I said quietly. It is. He looked at me one last time, anger and disbelief mixing in his eyes. Then he walked away, alone. Emily turned back to me. Ethan, please. I didn't move. I made a mistake, she said. I nodded slightly. You did? Can we talk? She asked. We are talking, I replied. I mean, really talk, she said. I looked at her for a moment. Then I said, There's nothing left to say. Her face fell. I gave you everything, I continued. And you walked away. I know, she whispered. And now that everything has changed, you want to come back? It's not like that, she said. It is exactly like that, I replied. She wiped her tears. I didn't know who you were. I held her gaze. That's why you lost me, I said. Silence. Cold. Final. I turned away from her and looked at Charles. So, I said, what happens next? He met my eyes. Now, he said, you decide what to do with the life that was always yours. I took a deep breath. For the first time, I felt in control, not because of power, but because I finally understood something simple. The truth doesn't destroy you. It reveals who was never real to begin with. Emily came to me one last time. Ethan, please. I made a mistake, she said. I looked at her and said, Why are you here now? Because I understand everything, she replied. I didn't know the truth before. And if you did? I asked. She hesitated. I would have chosen differently. I nodded slowly. That's not love. That's convenience. Her eyes filled with tears. I lost you. You didn't lose me, I said. You chose to walk away. She stepped closer. Can we start over? I shook my head. You can't restart what you never valued. Her voice broke. Do you still love me? I paused. The silence felt heavier than anything before. I loved you when I didn't love myself, I said. She froze. That version of me doesn't exist anymore. Emily covered her face as tears fell. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I know, I said calmly, but sorry doesn't rebuild trust. She lowered her hands. So that's it? That's it, I replied. Behind me, I heard footsteps. Sophia stood quietly beside me. Emily looked at her. Who is she? I said. Someone who didn't need me to be someone else. Sophia didn't speak at first. She just looked at Emily calmly. Emily's voice shook. You moved on fast. I moved forward, I corrected. Emily laughed weakly through tears. I thought I was everything to you. You were, I said, until I learned I wasn't everything to myself. Silence fell again. Sophia finally spoke softly. You should leave now. Emily looked at me one last time. Ethan, please don't forget me. I answered. I already did, in the way that matters. Her shoulders dropped. She turned slowly and walked away. I watched her leave without moving. Sophia stayed beside me quietly. You okay? She asked. I am not broken anymore, I said. She nodded. That's enough. I looked at her. Is it? She said. It is a start. I exhaled slowly and said, I didn't think I'd feel this calm after everything. Sophia looked at me. Calm doesn't mean nothing happened. It means you survived it. I nodded. For a long time, I thought surviving meant becoming someone else. She replied, It just means becoming yourself without fear. I looked at the empty space where Emily had stood. She really thought I would wait. People often confuse loyalty with permanence, Sophia said. I said quietly, I used to believe love meant holding on no matter what. And now? She asked. Now I think love should never make you lose yourself, I answered. Sophia gave a small, understanding smile. That's growth. I took a breath. It still feels strange, like I should feel more pain. You already did, she said. You just don't live in it anymore. I looked at her. Do you ever think about the past? All the time, she replied. But I don't live there. I nodded slowly. I want to learn that fully. You already are, she said. I glanced toward the exit Emily left through. Do you think people really change? Sophia said. Only when they stop pretending they can't. I let that sit in my mind. Then I said, for the first time, I don't feel like I lost anything tonight. She replied softly, because you finally stopped belonging to what hurt you. I looked at her and said, maybe that's what peace is. She nodded. Yes. Quiet understanding. I took one final breath and said, then I'm not going back. Sophia answered, good. Forward is where you belong. I said it quietly and meant every word this time for the first time.